I almost made it on America's Got Talent in the weirdest way. And the only reason I didn't make it on the show was because of one question. So the year's 2016, and I went to America's Got Talent auditions in Chicago. Before that, I was auditioning every year. So from 2013 till 2016, I did an audition. One was in Nashville, and the other two were in Chicago again. I ended up actually getting invited to the auditions rather than showing up to the open audition. However, one big thing happened. The day before auditions, I was outside messing with the dog, and I ended up breaking my metacarpal. As you can see here, that was completely cracked this way. I also performed a show that night with a broken hand, and everybody's like, you need to go to the hospital. Your hand looks like Mickey Mouse. So I go to the hospital, they take this wonderful photo, and I ended up saying, well, I have an audition with America's Got Talent. What should I do? And the doctor said, you probably shouldn't do it. However, though, I was very determined, and I ended up teaching myself how to do magic with my non-dominant hand, my left hand. So I get to auditions, and it's just a simple room. It's not like the open auditions, how they had it to where it was a giant room with a bunch of people. It was just a very kind of intimate setting where it was kind of more like a waiting room at a doctor's office. But the sequence was the same. So if you've never done an America's Got Talent audition, what happens is they put you into a room, there's an X on the ground, and you stand there, you say, hey, what's up? My name's Keelan, I do magic, I'm this year old, and I'm from the town of Whiting, Indiana. And then they give you 30 seconds to perform, which is not a lot of time. Over the years, I learned that when they say, oh, we'll give you a call, you can go home now, it's their nice way of saying you didn't make it this year. However, though, this year, they said, hey, hold back, we're going to send you into a different room. So I go into a different room, and it's the same kind of setup. It's an X on the ground, there's about 4 judges, and there's probably 6 cameras in this room pointing at me, and they say, do the trick again. I do that, great. They go to send me to a different room. This last room is just 2 seats in a room, and I sit down, and they have me talking to a producer. This room is what threw me off. Apparently, this is like a media training room, and I didn't know this. So they ask you questions. So they're like, what's your favorite color? And I'm thinking, what does this have to do with magic or America's Got Talent? Apparently, it's just a way of how to interact with the media, because if you go and you do America's Got Talent, you come home, you don't have anybody holding your hand to deal with the media, so they just kind of want you to honestly fire back without giving any insight of the show and just being like, oh yeah, my favorite color is green, haha, and just be personable as a person. The question that messed me up for America's Got Talent was, what would you do if you won America's Got Talent? I was happy to get the audition. I didn't think that far ahead. I looked that producer in the face and said, I don't know. Now, the reason why I said I don't know is because growing up, my parents divorced. I had to grow up really early because my mom was very sick, and I always had to take care of her. So it was like I didn't really have a sense of what I like. I was happy performing, and I didn't have a sense I thought there was a correlation that if you get fame, you get money. And that is not how that works. You can have notoriety, you can have fame, and be poor as hell. Also, I grew up the nerdy kid, so getting this type of attention is very scary for me. I'm just a guy from Northwest Indiana trying to make it. I have friends that live in LA that are like, this is a every Tuesday audition. Why are you all scared? And it's so weird because these are skills I had to acquire living in a blue collar area. But America's Got Talent, if you're watching, what I would do if I won America's Got Talent is I would take that money and I would go on tour. I would like to be a magician that goes on tour and does a lot of comedy magic across the country, maybe even parts of Canada, Mexico, and if it goes well, move over to Europe. And then at some point when I have kids, I want to be able to have a residency somewhere. That way I can spend time and be a father that is there for his kids, as well as do shows at night. That way I do my shows at night and I can be there all day. But that is the goal now. So thank you for the opportunity, America's Got Talent. It was fun to try it though.